Coming to you from the United States of America, this is Political Analytical. I'm your host, Eddie Hill, along with Rick Warren and Gordon Park. Join us as we give our opinion concerning everything dealing with politics. We don't hold back, so prepare for a no-nonsense approach to the news, and no, we don't care about your feelings. Uncensored and no sugarcoating. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Political Analytical. I'm your host, Eddie Hill. Along with my other host, we have the incredible and sexy Rick Warren. We also have Gordon B. Park, who is also incredibly sexy in his own right. And we have the incredibly shaved and smooth James Toops. It's a pleasure to have you guys on tonight. We've got
like a baby's ass.
Crazy show tonight because of the fact of all the weird stuff that's happening, all the uncertainty, all the worry, it's just everything's just bad right now. We've got Danielle in the chat. She said, "Hey guys, hey Danielle, how you doing?" We also have Antonella. How you doing, Antonella? Glad to see you on here. And we're going to be talking a lot about voter fraud. Was there voter fraud committed? What's going to happen if there is? And is it going to be enough to get the presidency back to Trump? Rick, you want to start us off?
Yes, I will. Thank you, guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Good to see you guys. Thank you. I wanted to start off, Eddie, with this. In 2002, there was an act and a vote that was started. It was called the HAVA Act. Are you familiar with that?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Spell that.
Okay, the HAVA, the acronym is HAVA. Okay. It was implemented and voted on by the United States Congress, HR 3295, which gave precedence, instead of the tabloid type of voting that we did, to cyber and digital type voting. This happened in 2002, guys, and they've been constructively working the kinks out, as they said. And now we have got it to where we have a portion, if not all, of America that is under this HAVA Act, that when you vote digitally or when you vote at all, it will go into the system as a digital and or a cyber type of vote, which can be misconstrued, which can be basically tampered with, because there's no oversight to this, and that's what they're working on right now is the oversight. You can go to Google or wherever you want to and look up the HAVA Act and see for yourself exactly what we're up against when we vote in the United States of America now under this type of discrepancy and fraudulent vote, because it's in the digital age, in the cyber world, where it can be tampered with and you don't even know your vote's been changed.
Let me ask you, Rick, right now, with the way things are, how much evidence does the president have that you've had this type of tampering going on with the voting system?
Well, for one thing, Eddie, he did something that was unprecedented on this election vote. He put a watermark on the ballots that was for him, as far as on the Republican Party and everything else like that. Anything without the watermark was determined as being falsified and or fraudulent. This was also brought out because right now there is one Mr. Dallas Jones, who is in FBI custody as I speak. sworn affidavits have been sworn out against him for using phony driver's license through the drive-through voters and everything else like that. And there's been massive voter fraud. And there's been thousands of absentee vote ballots that have been fraudulently used in Harris County. And this is in Houston, Texas, down your way. And this is where they're using the homeless. They are using the nurses, nursing homes, fraudulent, basically they've been held hostage in order to get the votes. Basically what they did at this one nursing home was hold up their dinner until they voted. And they actually got the votes and then give them dinner. And they took the votes and changed them. And this is under sworn affidavits in Harris County right now as I speak. And this is what's going on just in one state, Eddie, one little state. And you can imagine what's going on all over the United States.
Right. As I was about to say, I mean, what's happening everywhere. Gordon, what have you heard lately?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the same stuff. You know, my thoughts on all this are everybody knows, as sure as they know that we're going to be on, everybody knows that there was voter fraud. Everybody knows that there was cheating. But one thing I do know, and one thing I want to express to everyone, is that ABC, NBC, MSNBC, and Fox News and CBS do not declare winners of presidential election. They don't declare winners of any election. The states have to certify those ballots. So what does that mean? That means that Fox and all the liberal news outlets, which Fox is quickly becoming, can say whatever the hell they want. They can say and do whatever the hell they want. But until those states stamp and certify that their state went for their electoral votes are going for that particular candidate, nothing is set in stone. With the lawsuits that were filed by Trump in these battlefield and swing states, those states are barred. I repeat, those states are 100% barred from certifying their votes until the court hears the case. So Trump still has a path to victory if they find in the recounts enough cases of voter fraud, and like in Michigan where they kept everyone out, cardboarded the windows, cardboarded all these things so no one could even see inside. When they go back in and start recounting these votes properly and throwing out the votes that don't have the watermark, throwing out the votes that were obviously changed, we're looking at a different ballgame, folks.
But let me ask you this. If that's the case, you've got Biden and Harris running around right now like chickens with their head cut off going, oh, we're going to start doing this. We're going to start doing that. They pretty much already said they won.
Yeah, but guess what?
What's going to happen when they turn around and say, well, y'all did not win? People are going to go mad.
People are going to go mad. And you know what? Let them do it. This is why we have the country that we have. Let them go mad, because they're going to have to admit the fact that the states and the Democratic Party cheated their way and tried to steal an election.
But they're already saying, Gordon, online, and I know this is just all BS, but they're already saying online that the president is trying to steal the election back. Steal it. But when you've got voter fraud, there is no stealing an election back. It's voter fraud.
Now, Eddie, you're a former police officer and still in law enforcement. What happens to people who commit fraud?
Well, of course they go to jail. They're charged, but here's the problem. We're not talking just anybody. We're talking about people who continuously do shit wrong, continuously break the law, and yet they're still walking on the ground. Why? Because there are certain laws. I shouldn't say certain. There are laws that don't apply to these people. They apply to us. If we did it, we would be in jail.
But what establishes that? What makes that so? And I can tell you what makes it so. This is what establishes your ability to walk around the country, commit any crime you want, and not be charged.
Of course, money.
Yep.
That's it.
And let's face
Hey, so
with your experience, son.
let me jump in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game right there. But let me jump in for a second. So supposedly, well, first of all, hey everybody, how you doing? So first of all, the information coming out as far as the videos we've seen. I've seen one today, Eddie. I think you sent it to me. It was a Fox video of the voting systems. How the voting systems were and there were multiple votes that were changed from Trump to Biden. And that's in one county. It was like over 5,000 votes, I think. And there were like 43 counties that voted. That same system had a glitch in, and that's on TV. That's a legit thing. That's out there. We will have news tomorrow on Monday. Rudy Giuliani claims that he has evidence. Now, here's what the drive-by media is talking about. So, yeah, if this is all bad, this is all, there's fraud, show us the evidence, show us the evidence. And they've been on this kick for like the last week. Show us the evidence, since this thing came out. They have evidence right now. They would not be filing multiple lawsuits if they didn't have the evidence. All the stuff we've been seeing online and it's fact. You go with it. Folks are not being allowed to watch the counting. Republicans are not allowed inside of the counting room where they're counting these ballots at and stuff. The systems are fraud. The systems are faulted, right? Biden's his first thing that he wants to start canceling policies. He wants to go in there and reverse everything that Trump has put in place to keep the country safe, right? His first order is to establish a COVID team. And what that COVID team is going to do is shut down the country. And he's modeling this from, I think, it's somewhere in Europe. It's 111-day shutdown that they have going on right now. And they are up 1,000% on their COVID cases. Okay. I don't even want to get into COVID because I'm just so sick of that freaking name right now. The drive-by media, when drive-by, I'm talking about Fox, CNN, PMS, NBC, and I call it PMS, NBC. All these drive-by media guys, they're confirming right now. They're saying, oh, Biden is the winner. And Gordon, like you said, you can't do that as a media outlet. You can't confirm that. You're not the one that says, hey, oh, Biden's president-elect. You can't do that. That makes you look like a straight ass because you have no stroke. You can't go and do that. They're confirming him as a president-elect and this and that. And what's sickening is that the Biden-Harris team won Fox News because Fox was the only one left that was almost there, man, on the borderline of independent. Not sitting left as CNN. They wanted Fox News to come out and say that. And when Fox News did that, after Fox was CNN, CBS, PMS, NBC, all of these right here. None of these other media outlets were going to do that until Fox did it. And Fox sold out and they went and did it and followed suit. And that's what exactly they were waiting on. And oh, by the way, interesting news. The head of Fox News, I can't remember this dude's name. Fox News, guess what he's fixing to do at the beginning of the year?
What's that?
He's retiring.
Oh, imagine
he's going to retire. Yeah, the beginning of the year. I tried to look for this cat's name, and I know it's in the back of my head. He's retiring at the beginning of the year. Imagine that. So I have respect for Carlson, Sean Hannity, have respect for him. Laura Ingraham, I have respect for quite a few of them.
Shannon
But
Breed.
as far as the entire media of Fox goes, I have nothing left for them. So I've switched all my intent from Fox to Newsmax. Newsmax is pretty much on the board. I mean, all these news outlets suck and they're all full of shit. But if you're gonna listen to any bullshit, Newsmax is probably the best bullshit you can listen to, I guess, for lack of better words, because they're not so far leaning left. And they're not even, if you look up news.com right now, they're not calling the election. And they're proud to say that, hey, we're not calling this election because it's not over until the fat lady counts all the votes. It's not over. And that's Newsmax's
who are
stance.
the judges that are going to oversee these lawsuits? If they are pro-Democrats, what's going to happen?
I got something for
Let
that.
me catch you up.
So
Guys, let me catch you up on this for just a second there, James. What you were talking about
Go
as
ahead.
far as on the voting, on the people not being able to see the votes and the counters and everything else like
Mhm.
that. The lawsuit stated that they were not able to see the votes and see what was going on with the counting tonight on 60 Minutes, and this is a national show. They said that according to law and through stipulation of what was being said in the lawsuit, they went ahead and changed their stance on what could transpire in the counting room. They said at one point that they had the counters standing about 15 feet away, and they moved them up to 12 feet away. And now, since the
Mhm.
lawsuit has come forth, they have now said that, well, we are going to go ahead and allow these observants to be 6 feet away from the counters.
That's what they should have.
just exactly. And
You know,
on
Well,
top of
here's
that,
the thing. In
you're Rudy
Pennsylvania,
Here's the other problem. The other problem is that all these other votes that they've already counted need to be shit canned, and they need to start over with this and start over with the counting, while these people and the poll watchers are right there, because all
Mhm.
these other ballots that they went through are not worth shit anymore, and they should be treated as such.
so that's where the watermark thing comes in. If this is true that Donald Trump predicted, and he predicted the mail-in ballot fraud, it was going to be bullshit. He said that in so many of his rallies and so many of his speeches. He's already predicted that the mail-in ballot is going to be bullshit. So apparently he teamed up with the DOJ. Allegedly, he teamed up with DOJ, and when him and DOJ sent out all the ballots, it was watermarked. So what that tells you is any of the ballots that are counted after a recount, if it doesn't have that watermark on it, it's a false ballot. That means it's a replicated ballot. So it doesn't count. There's folks out there that are dead and been dead for months, even years, veterans that are voting right now. I put a picture up on my own media of what was that guy's Jeffrey Epstein with an I voted sticker on his shirt, just to be a smartass, because that's what's happening. There's dead people. There was one woman that drove like 900 miles to go vote in her home state, and she was allowed to do that. You live out of state 900 freaking miles. Who does that? If you live out of state 900 miles, you should not be allowed to go back to your home state and vote. That's not the way. There's a lot of people in Vegas or in Nevada that hadn't lived there in that state for years, and they're allowed to vote, and they're accepted. Wisconsin, you have more voter registration, or you have less voter registration than the actual votes that were counted. Where are they coming from? This is all corrupt. It's all corruption. It's all bullshit, and they're calling it. And Monday, mark my words, Monday, they're going to have evidence tomorrow morning or sometime tomorrow before noon that they have evidence and all this other stuff. And the problem is they pass it through to the local courts, and they shut it down. And then from there, it has to be bumped up to the Supreme Court and everything else. Once it gets into the Supreme Court, sorry for the Democrats, because Coney Barrett's going to rule the right way on this right here. She's going to have to take all these ballots back and all these dirty votes. It's all going to have to come back. And I just love the fact that Biden and Kamala Harris did their entire acceptance speech. That's just great. I love the fact they did that, because you know what? They're going to have to pull that back. I'm 100% confident they're going to find what they're looking for in the evidence and the fraud and everything else. And they're going to have to pull this shit back. And it's going to be pie and a black eye on their face, which I'm good with. And that bitch can crawl up on a rock and can go back to the basement, because I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. I am not losing hope in this.
Man, I hope you're right, James. Gordon, what do you have to say on all this?
Well, and I agree to a certain extent. It is going to come down to the Supreme Court. It is going to come down to whether or not the Supreme Court finds that there's enough voter fraud to throw out all these bad ballots. But my concern here is again, if it plays out the way that it should, and I say the way that it should, how much unrest is this going to create? What is the America after this settles down going to look like? It kind of goes back to the analogy of you've got a kid who's in the middle of the Walmart aisle throwing a fit, stomping his feet, crying and acting like a retard. And to shut the kid up, you have one of two different types of parents.
Wow.
You have parent number one who reaches over and gets him the candy or gets him the toy that he wants so he'll shut up and quit acting a fool. And then you have parent number two, which says, fuck it, and leaves him laying there on the floor crying like an idiot. I'm number two. I've left my kid in the middle of the floor.
I'm number 3.
Yeah, you beat his ass in Walmart.
I'm the belt guy. I grabbed the belt. I'm number 3.
But I'm the guy that walks off and leaves his kid laying there. And that's what happened.
Danielle says, as your son said, Gordon, still divided. And she also said on here, which I think is pretty interesting, and I have to, I have to agree with it. I mean, if it's that jacked up, if it's this much bullshit and fight, order another vote for everyone, 1 week in person with valid ID that proves where you live and who you are and who you say you are. And I agree with that, because I mean, if our voting system is that messed up right now, why put up with all the shit? Just order a recount. I mean, not recount, another vote. And it says
revote.
Hot pot from every convenience store and grocery store in your city, and problem solved. Rick, what do you got to say on all?
Yeah, I have an update for you guys. I just come across that one state senator, Boris Miles, Democrat for Houston, and Harris County Commissioner Rodney Ellison, who is also a Democrat, have been indicted by the FBI, stealing absentee ballots from nursing homes and forcing voter signatures.
Yes.
Just one count. Okay.
Awesome.
The other one is the
Fuck them
fact
guys.
that they are using, and they found a cache. And now I'm not going to say how much I don't know, but they said it's a cache of driver's license. And guess where these phony, fraudulent, damn driver's license are from?
Tell me.
China.
China.
They have routed them back from China to the United States to be used and implemented in our
I've
election.
been saying it.
Now, how far down do they have to go and crawl to sit there and use votes and use driver's licenses from China, fake IDs, and use the very people of the United States, the nursing home, and hold them hostage and get them to vote and then change their votes? Now, let me tell you what I found out just a while ago, too. Biden's executive orders for when he implements his coming election party, his executive orders on the first day is going to be, we're going to rejoin the Paris Climate Accords, and we're going to reverse withdrawal from the World Health Organization. meaning that America's again going to be
Yep.
in the organization. And this is the one that just chats my fucking ass. Okay. He says, I'm going to repeal the ban on immigration from Muslim majority countries. Now, if that don't get in your craw, I don't know what the hell will.
That is insane. Gordon, you just sat back a little bit. What's your thoughts?
I'm disgusted. But more so with a lot of the Republicans, or just as much with a lot of the Republicans and the Democrats. Because there's been a whole laundry list of Republicans that have come out and said, look, come on, this is over. Just concede, move on.
Yeah, I heard that. That's bullshit.
Mm-mm.
How can you call yourself a Republican? How can you call yourself a conservative? How can you call yourself anything but a worthless pile of shit?
Yeah, and how can you call yourself an American?
To tell our president, you know what, you lost. Just move on. Don't drag the country through this. You know what? Fuck you.
You know what? Darren has a good point, Gordon. He says, wow, the driver license thing, isn't that actually treason to bring your government down?
No. If that was the case, then every 16-year-old running around with a fake ID that says he's 21 so he can buy beer.
No. There's a difference on that
No,
because
There's
trying
a
to buy
difference.
huh?
There is a
This is
difference.
federal.
There is.
This is not on a state level, Gordon. This is on a federal level.
Yeah,
when you have a country interviewing,
this is to change the election on who is going to be the president of the United States. This isn't about buying beer.
No, I get that. But it, you know, everything that everything that I've done has been all about proximate cause. What is the proximate cause? The proximate cause in all of this is fake IDs. Period. Fake identification. What you use it for after you obtain that fake identification is on that person. Whatever crime that's committed after that is on that person. Because you have a choice. And again, I go back to my whole belief. No, let me finish. My whole personal belief in personal responsibility. You have a choice of giving a fake ID. You have a choice as to whether or not you're going to use it. You have a choice as to whether or not to cut it up. You have a choice as to whether or not what you do with it.
Absolutely.
Personal choice.
I agree with you.
But as far as saying that being a being a treasonous act, I think that's a bit of a stretch. Identity theft, yeah, Danielle, I'll buy identity theft. But as far as treason, that's a bit of a stretch. Wrong? Yes. Take away your privilege to vote for the rest of your life? Yes. Convicted of a felony in due time? Yes. Treason? No.
Well,
because remember, the penalty for treason is what?
Death. Firing squad.
That's right.
okay, let's remember one thing, okay, guys. This is not a person that's doing this. This is a country that has shipped in thousands and thousands and thousands of fake IDs and driver's license to change the democracy and the Republic of the United States. It's in a person. It's a country.
Let me get on that point right quick.
Okay, James, jump.
Let me get on that point right quick.
Go ahead.
Eat my fucking ass up. So personal belief right here, right? I am not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy analyst. I analyze all theories that come out and I pick the best one. But here's what I've deducted from all this shit. So China released a virus. Okay. China released a virus. They have this fucking Wuhan virus come out. I believe myself, and I speak for me and me only. I don't speak for anybody else. Do your research, do what you got to do. I think they released this virus in order to crash the U.S. economy, because Trump is putting stupid tariffs on China right now, like putting them to the fire by the feet. They're putting tariffs on China. China releases this virus. It crashes the economy. To get Trump out of the White House and get him out of what he's up against and what he's running against, Biden is weak. He's weak as water, and they can get over on Biden. They know this. Release this virus, crash the economy, get Biden elected. Now you have China sending fucking IDs, fake IDs to the United States and all the other shit. You know, all these fake ads. I bet if you look in the fine print on the very bottom, it's going to say "Made in China." I guarantee you. China is behind a lot of this shit, and everybody's focus is Russia. Russians are interfering. The Russians. Why is everybody putting the focus on? No, it's China. It's not the Russians. I guarantee you, and that is my belief, that China did all this shit. But they released the virus to crash this economy, and they know the domino effect of what's going to happen. It's a strategic plan. Everything in politics is strategic, every bit of it.
Rick, what do you got to say on that?
Gordon
says,
looks like he's chomping at the bit right now.
Says, don't you just love people who tell you to accept the results when they just spent 4 years refusing to accept the results? And these are the people that we're up against.
Of course.
I'll say that again. Don't you just love people who tell you to accept the results when they spent the last 4 fucking years refusing to accept the results?
Agreed. Gordon, what do you got to say? I know you're chomping, and we just lost James. But I think we'll be back on.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Look, here's my whole deal. Eddie, you work for free?
Nope.
Rick, how about you? You work for free?
Hell no.
I don't work for free. So what in the hell makes you think that a government is going to work for free? China released the Wuhan. Out of the Wuhan lab, they released COVID. Outstanding. We've proven that. Now we have a bunch of licenses from China. Outstanding. Done. But who paid for it?
That was Obama.
Does it work for free?
Obama did. Remember all the money that they sent over there?
Yeah.
For that.
But that's the point I'm getting at. That's the point I'm getting at. The person who needs to be going in front of the firing squad for treason is the person that you trace the money back to. Not the person, not the guy who's using the wrong ID or using a fake ID to vote. Because the penalty for that, like I said, is death. Does this person deserve to get shot in the head as a result of, one bad decision in his life? No. But does the person who paid for all of it, who put America through this from top to bottom, who has shipped in these IDs, who's done all of this to hamper and hurt and condemn America, do they deserve to get shot in the fucking head for this? Yes, because it was planned, it was orchestrated, and that is an act of treason.
That it is. Deborah says, I agree, and I think a large part of their motivation was to push the mail-in voting due to the virus as an opportunity to pull off the voter fraud.
Thomas, I just read your remark here. Bullshit. Sometimes you got to put your foot down and say the carrot or the stick. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Sometimes you do. But you also have to cut the head off of a snake. You have to cut the head off a snake. That's it. You go after the money man.
Kenneth Higgins says, when Trump was right about to win and the counting stopped, the Chinese currency tanked. What do you make of that?
It did. The Chinese currency tanked tremendously because the international world saw that, hey, this wasn't going to happen. The rest of the world said, America's not buying the bullshit.
Antonella says, that is half of the Democrats. They are all in with Soros and his cronies. And I'm going to tell you something real quick. You know, I don't think the Democrats were expecting such a large voter turnout for Trump. I don't think they were expecting what showed up. And I think they were jumping through hoops because their plan was failing. And that's when they started making mistakes because they started getting careless.
Eddie, I want to
I agree.
throw this in here real quick. There's a guy named Chris Levengood.
Right.
He's one of your listeners, our listeners too.
Yeah,
He asked,
I
what-
served with him
what
in the U.S. Navy.
all right. Salute and honor. He wants to know the link as to where we can get the information on the Dallas Jones and the Senator Boris from Houston. It is by a guy that his name is Leslie Kushner, Kushner. And he's the one that has spent hours and hours and days of looking into this voter fraud and has just now come across with the information about the FBI indicting and taking into custody one Dallas Jones.
Wow. So, Chris,
So this goes a lot deeper. The rabbit hole goes way deeper.
Yeah, look that up, Chris. Danielle says they were completely not expecting the Trump support. Stupid them. They did not see the rallies. I think they did see that, but I think what the problem was is that they didn't expect the amount of the turnout as what happened. Well, we had James. I lost him again.
Where'd he go?
It also I agree, sort of, Eddie, but they became careless throughout the cheating process. I bet every state has lots of cheating going on, and the only reason why we see it now is because the microscope is on these 5 states per se. Yeah, and we're going to see more of it actually, but I honestly think they became very careless though. It was one of those situations where I think they were in a panic. They didn't expect Trump to be as strong as he was. And I think that's how come all of a sudden the voting stopped and we were getting all the new ballots and lost ballots we were finding at 3 and 4 in the morning. Because, you know, 1 minute Trump was ahead, night goes by, you wake up thinking the same thing's going to happen. They're like, oh, well, we found 20, 30,000 votes for Biden. Oops. You know, I'm bad. You know, and then they add those on there. Darren says, what happens if the legal process fails and that crook gets put in? Then that's, if the legal process fails and he gets put in, that's something we're going to have to live with, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, and there's nowhere we can go. It's not like we can move to Canada or move to Cuba or move to Russia or any. There's no place to go, unfortunately, and that's the problem. That's the thing we're going to have to live and deal with. I don't know what's going to happen, man, but I'm going to tell you, Eddie, like you said, overnight, you know, they all of a sudden stopped. You know, when they seen Florida, Trump got Florida. That's when they said, "Oh shit!" And now we got to do something. And all of a sudden, everybody just starts. They just stop counting votes and stop counting ballots. And what the hell, you know, say, oh, yeah, we'll just pick it up next week, you know, like 9 days from now. No, you don't do that. And then next thing you know, 100,000 fucking ballots come in and it's all for Biden and no Trump on it. Give me a break, man. Come on. Get out of here with that shit.
Well,
that's not legit.
Quick,
that's why they're investigating like their ass off.
Yeah, I hate to cut it, but we've got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. We're going to play a little tune, and we'll see y'all here in just a short bit of time.
10-4.
to the red room where we lay in blue. Take me back to that feeling I only get with you. Take me back to a time when love was yours and mine, where we find that the cure for pain was in the glass and greenish chime. We'd be fine, always turning on the time, always yearning just to rock what we've been learning all the time. But we were blind, stuck inside the cage of our own minds, and we tried, but we never could escape that age of to a dive, feel a fly, lay behind this way of life. Open up those sleepy eyes so you can see how much it shines. Je suis solitaire. It seems I'm a lonely soul. Take me back to the red room where we lay in blue. Take me back to that feeling I only get with you. Forget everything you knew, you know nothing that you do. You really took me from the room, from the place to lay in blue. Where you whispered I was made for you, and nothing felt the way that you inside the sky was falling through the ceiling till it came into our lives away. Another day, another chance for more to take. Another time, another person, well, the moment scared, erase the feeling that those moments gave. In this hour, face to face, we're burning out of time and space. Je suis solitaire. It seems I'm a lonely soul. Take me back to the red room where we lay in blue. Take me back to that feeling once upon a time we knew.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Political Analytical. We were just talking about all the voter fraud and what's been going on. We've got myself, we have Rick Warren, Gordon D. Park, and James Toops with us. Well, James kind of with us. It's I think he's in the chair by, just spirit-wise right now, but he should be back in the room shortly. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. So, I mean, this is just a bunch of crazy stuff that we got going on. And, I just don't understand, that how so much stuff can be so jacked up. I have like zero faith in our voting process now. I mean, really, I do.
So does that mean are you going to vote next time?
I'm going to vote. Of course, I have to vote. I mean, that's our duty is to vote as Americans. I just have zero faith in the fact that it's working. Maybe now, if Trump pushes forward like he says he is, and he is able to fix this, you know, people will feel better about actually going out and casting a vote, knowing that it's not going to be turned around or it's going to end up being something different, or, you know, God only knows what.
So the voting process right now is, we all know it's shit. It's a shit show. But does that mean in 2024, is it going to be the same shit show? So let's say Trump comes out ahead. He finds all of the fraud. He proves it, and it gets reversed, and it's Trump back in the White House. Is it going to be the same process, or what do you think they're going to change between now and then on the next election? Number one, what I think they need to change is this mail-in bullshit. They need to stop that. If they could send the census people to your house, they could send the census people to help you vote if you're handicapped and you need a mail-in ballot and you cannot leave your house. I think that's the way that ought to go.
Right.
What do you think about that? Do you think it's going to be fair between now and then, or it's just this one incident, this one time is a shit show, and from here moving forward, is it going to change, or is it going to be the same? What do you think?
Well, here's Dennis. Dennis Higgins says, remember, those ballots are only counted. They are not verified. Verified ballots will show a completely different picture. The media cannot call an election. That comes from the Electoral College, and we have yet to hear from them. That's true. We have Danielle says,
agreed.
I know a few people that voted in person at the same place. James and I voted. That checked their votes online and received the message that their vote could not be found. Wow. And Deborah says, Trump is trying to eliminate the fraud. Yes, he is, and hopefully he can do that. And I honestly feel that if Trump can get back in, we're not going to have this issue the next time around. We're not, because
I don't think so either.
The United States of America, where everybody was put on the back burner because the Democrats did not feel that we knew what we were wanting in the White House. They thought they knew better than all of us. And that is one reason why they put their foot in their mouth and decided, you know what, we're going to take it over. We're going to put in there who we want, because we need the power. We know better than the American people. We know what they need better. What did Nancy Pelosi say that one time? That the American people think they know what's good for them? You know, come on, seriously, Gordon?
So you do know that they lost Congress, right, Gordon? You do know that, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so that being said, do you know why? And this is just real quick point I want to make, man. I just want to make this point real fast. They lost to Congress, right? There's more Republicans on the bill now, and the reason that is because when they were changing the votes on the ballots and stuff, they were focusing on president. They didn't go all the way down the ballot and do Democrat. They just went president, Biden. They didn't change anything from there down. I voted straight ticket, Trump all the way down, Republican. A lot of them I didn't even know, but I didn't even have to, because I know it's Republican and it's not sideways Democrat. They changed the ballots from Trump to Biden, didn't worry about the rest, and guess what? They won the freaking Congress, and now the Republicans in Congress. You know, go ahead, Gordon. Sorry, man, I had to throw that in there right quick.
That's all right. So Nancy Pelosi came out a couple of months back, and she said that the government knows what the people need more than what the people know they need. And I was looking over when we came back from break, I was looking over that stuff Rick was looking at about what's going to transpire in the first 100 days of a Biden administration. And I want to read this to you. First thing from day one is going to be a push for a national mask mandate. Number 2 is paid sick leave and caregiving leave, in addition to raising the minimum wage from $7.25 an hour to $15. Here's the big one: CDC tracker for all coronavirus patients. Number 4, protecting and restoring Obamacare.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Number 5, free COVID testing for all. And then
I
we
believe
get
that should, I agree with that.
and then we get into the rejoining of WHO and rejoining of the Paris Accords. You know,
Negative. Let me ask you a question. So the CDC tracker, how does that? So give me some info on that, on the CDC tracker, because I'm all over HIPAA and ADA. What does that entail with the CDC tracker? Who has that information? Who gets that information? Who has access to that?
it's all electronic, and it's going to go through whatever cure is put out, is the way I'm looking at it and the way I'm reading it. So if you get contracted with the coronavirus, part of the cure is going to be some sort of a tracking number on the actual vial that they give you. And that virus.
So who has an iPhone?
I do.
All of us do.
If you have one, and it's good. So if you have an iPhone, you can go in there, and they've already downloaded a COVID tracker on your phone. I don't know if you know this. I had to disable it on my phone.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I agreed to. It's not something that I hit the terms and conditions and say, hey, let's go. But a CDC tracker. So this thing on your iPhone, it'll show you who's within proximity of you that has COVID. If they have their known or whatever. But the CDC tracker thing, that makes me nervous. Makes me very nervous, because that's almost borderline HIPAA violation and Disability Act violation. It makes me extremely nervous, because that's one liberty that they're going to pull away from us, is the privacy of your. It depends on who has this access, but if you don't have MD behind your name, you don't need to know my medical history. You don't need to know shit about me unless you, okay? Or if I walk around with a bandage on my hand, and I volunteer to tell you what's going on. But as far as the CDC tracker, one step, that's one phase in taking your rights and your privacy away from you. And that's what HIPAA is designed for. And the ADA, the Disabilities Act, that's what that's designed for, is to protect your rights and to protect your privacy. And if they're going to pull that away from you, man, that's one step. It's not good.
Antonella wants to know where it's located on the phone. I think she wants to try and disable it just in case.
Oh, it's okay. So if you go to settings and you pull up where is it? Let me go to general. No, it's in your privacy settings. Let's see. Okay, so
privacy.
settings and then privacy. You hit that, and if you wanna go along with me, so settings, privacy, and then go to health. So at the top it says location services. Scroll down all the way to about right there. It says health. You click on that dude right there. And then in here, within your health settings, you'll see COVID tracker on your phone. And then make sure that shit's turned off. And what that does is it's good technology. I'm not even going to lie to you. So if your phone is in your pocket and somebody else with COVID and their phone is in their pocket, it's turned on. When you get within proximity of that person, it'll tell you if somebody within your area, somebody within your proximity has COVID. So if it's just you and one other guy walking towards each other and that's it, this dude got COVID. All right. But if it's you and 10 other people, you won't know, because it's 10 other people. One out of that 10 is going to have COVID, and you're going to know about it. And that's really good technology. That's badass technology. Now, here's the thing. They're so intent on doing this COVID technology with your phone. Why not do this shit for registered sex offenders? Why not do that? We can see if there's a COVID person walking towards us, but you know what? If I got all 6 or 28 of my kids with me, and I have a bunch of kids, I'm not even gonna lie to you. If I got, and most of them are girls, if I got my whole gang of girls walking with me, and we're going through Walmart, and I see a group of people coming to me, and I get all of a sudden a pedophile alert on my phone, I'm more concerned about that than I am about COVID. Be
Yeah,
honest with you,
too.
because
also-
this COVID shit, I'm about over it.
Is everyone willing to take the coronavirus vaccine, especially, and I do say this hypothetically, if Biden is our president and he mandate that you must take it, will you refuse?
Yes, I will refuse. I will refuse. I will not have an entity coming to my house to make me take a fucking vaccine. I will refuse. At that point, it's not about the people, it's about power.
Yeah, I'm not
This
taking it.
reflects even back to Obamacare when it was issued, and a statement from the White House was saying that if you did not take Obamacare, that there would be a fine. That's not a Congress. That's not an America. That's a totalitarian nation. That is completely is when the American
Communism.
people are under siege.
Well, I was fined because I didn't carry that insurance, and I just stayed away from it. I didn't care. They fine me all they want to. You can't take blood from a turnip.
I did the same. Nope.
And
And the problem is, like, when Biden gets it off about he's going to end our personal health care, our private health care through our companies. I have a pretty decent insurance with my company. I don't want that to go away and then have to stand in line for like 2 days at an ER because I'm sick and all this other shit. I don't get sick really. I don't get sick often. When I do, it's bad. I'm not going to lie. I got bronchitis that turns into pneumonia. Next thing I know, I'm half dead. But I don't want to have to wait in line at the freaking ER, for 25 hours to get seen. I can go to my doctor right now, in and out in 30 minutes and be good to go. I don't want to lose my health care. I don't want to lose it. One of the things Biden's going to push because he's going to revamp, like one of y'all said, he's going to revamp the Obamacare thing. Dude, that shit is a disaster. It's a bad healthcare deal, but they're managing it as best they can. They took over a shit show and they're managing this thing the best they can. I don't want to lose my healthcare.
all I got to say
That's
is
one of the things Biden's going to push to do.
all I got to say is Trump better get back in. Gentlemen, we've got about 3 minutes left. Start off with Gordon and do some closing statements.
I've had a lot of my own battles with old high school buddies of mine and old friends of mine on Facebook who have not only said that they voted for Biden, but proudly said that they voted for Biden. And I've come to this decision that, we've here at Political Analytical, we've posted videos that show the truth about what's going on, and fact checkers have covered them up, deleted them, said they're not true. Videos saying that we're lying about what's going on in the video. In the video. So,
Yes, sir.
the only time you are going to see me on Facebook here after the next week or so, and I'll let everybody know when it happens, is when I'm on this show. I'm going to have to figure out how to get in through my Google account because I, along with about 900,000 other Americans, are dropping Facebook. Don't want anything to do with Facebook anymore.
Well, the only reason I keep it going is just for the shows. Other than that, that's it.
It has turned into basically just like CNN, a communist news network. They're going to censor and they're going to tell us
Yes,
what
sir.
we can and cannot see and what we can and cannot say. And I will not tolerate it.
I agree. Rick?
Agreed.
You know what, guys? I don't know what's coming tomorrow. None of us do. Because of what we thought was a fair and equitable political system has let us down. I'm not saying I have faith in that system anymore because I really don't know if I do or not. And I want to tell this to everybody that's listening too. You're going to have to make your own mind up. Whether it isn't a Republican, it isn't a Democrat thing, okay? It's a United States of America thing. And it's the United States of America people that are being fucked hard by a system that doesn't give a damn about us right now. And those are some hard questions that you're going to have to answer come in the next few weeks as to what you're going to tolerate.
James.
So, first of all, I want to thank you guys, for letting me come on the show and, voice my opinion. And it means a lot. And, want to thank everybody in the, hanging out and voicing opinions, man, because we are the American people. At the end of the day, this is what it's all about. We're out here doing this thing. We don't have to do this, but we choose to do this. We choose to put these opinions out. And just my message to people is just don't get in too involved with the whole political shit. I had to take a break today. I mean, I went out in my garage and I worked on my airplane a little bit, and I'm just listening to music. I started off with political shit. And I'm like, you know what, man, I just need a break from all this. So put on some music, had a good time just in there, just working on things. And man, just trust the process, trust Trump's process. Don't trust the electoral process, obviously, but there's lawyers and attorney people working on this stuff. They know it's corrupt. They have the same opinion we do. They have the same outlook we do, and they have the same desire we do. And they're in for that right now. The whole Trump Biden thing, it's a fucking mess. The Biden shit, them saying, oh, we won the election. No, nobody has won. Nobody has won. And we need to spread that to everybody we know. Oh, well, Biden's president now. No, he's not. No, he is not. He is not president-elect right now. It's not how that works. Okay. I've argued with 50 plus people in a different for the last 2 days. And I'm talking one-on-one. They're coming at me with all kind of shit. And this is 50 different people. Well, this, and no, let me explain to you why that's not accurate. And it was a good discussion. And these are people that are really pissed off. And some of them voted for Biden, but we had good discussion, good turnout. It was like, hey man, look, I don't disrespect you at all, but here's your thing. Here's the thing. Look at these policies here, look at these here. And then they went back and came back and said, dude, there's no shit, man. I voted for Biden. How do I take it back? You can't. Don't get your head too wound up in this thing. We are all on the same page. And so is the elites, our elites that are up there working on this. On a Trump, all of them, our campaign, everything. They're working on it, and they know what we want. We know what we want. So you guys just hang in there, man. There's going to be more shit come out tomorrow, and hopefully it's a good thing.
Amen. All right. Just in case we end up getting kicked off of here, we do have our YouTube channel. So please look up the Political Analytical YouTube channel and follow us there. And click the little bell, subscribe, all that good stuff. That kind of neat little stuff that they do on YouTube so that you know when we go live. So that's just in case we get booted from here. We're still going to be doing the show on here, and Political Analytical is also live on YouTube at the same time. So we kind of stream to both at the same time while we're doing this. So keep the faith, everybody. We're hoping for the best on this. We know Trump has got all his lawyers, like James said and Rick said and Gordon said. We need to keep pushing. We need to keep fighting. And we can't stop the fight no matter what happens. We have to keep going all the way to the end. Because, this isn't just about the election. This is about our freedom. This is about the United States of America's reputation. This is about our voting process. This is about everything. And if we lose ground on this, it's not just the president's race that we're losing. We're losing a lot of other stuff as well. So keep that in mind. But until next Sunday, everybody, remember, we love you guys. Keep fighting, keep talking, keep telling people what you hear, keep spreading the messages. Please spread Political Analytical to all your friends and family, not only the Facebook, but the YouTube as well. And let's get it out there. That way, everybody knows when we're on. And like I said, if anything happens here, we still have YouTube. Unfortunately, Parler does not have anything video oriented where we can get on there and stream to Parler. So we have to pull video from either here or YouTube and put on Parler. So until next week, next Sunday, 8 p.m. Central, y'all take care. We love you. God bless. Good night. And keep America strong.
Good night, guys.